Alright everybody, Syncratic, I'm back, ready to be a wizard. We're going to do some wizarding today. So, if you'll notice something, we loaded up the last workflow, right? And that's cool, but we got all these noodles. I don't like noodles. In real life, they're great. In Comfyui, they're annoying. So we're going to load up my workflow. This is one of my workflows. And if you'll notice, it is noodleless. There aren't noodles. All of these are self-contained. And because of that, they're very easily moved around in case you want to rearrange things. So we're going to go back and load tutorial 2 from the last video. And we're going to get rid of these noodles. But first, you're going to need a node called KJ nodes, made by Kaijai. They are fantastic. They are for quality of life, visual improvements. They do a lot of things. But the main thing that we're going to be using them for is first install them and then restart Comfy if you haven't already. And then we're going to continue. So we're going to use them to get rid of noodles. So that would be a get node. We'll use one of those in a second. But right now we're going to use set nodes because we do not like noodles. So this set node is for the model. We're going to set the model. So the model has now been set, which means we can take this get node, put it over here, and get, you guessed it, model. We can unhook this noodle because we don't need it anymore. We can hook this to model. Now this animate diff node, we can just hide this little node back here. It's getting the model from this set node. We can take another set node. We can name this one clip. And for this, we can disconnect clip because we don't need that anymore. Don't need that noodle. So now we have a set node for clip. What we're going to do is right click on a node, add get node. We're going to type in or just click clip. We're going to hook up clip to here, and we're just going to hide it. Now that's getting its clip from the clip set node. This is getting its model from the model set node. Now we can take all this other stuff and we can de-noodle it, one thing at a time. So for instance, positive and negative conditioning. We're going to add a set node, add another set node. We're just going to name this one let's see, prompt plus. Not underscore. Prompt plus, not prompt equals. Prompt plus. I have a 65% keyboard. It's annoying sometimes. Name this one prompt minus. We're going to set these. We're going to hide them because there's no need for them to be around. We're going to unplug these because we don't need those anymore. We're going to add 2 get nodes. We're going to get prompt plus, get prompt minus, and we're going to put the minus in the negative, plus in the positive, and we're going to hide them. Problem solved. Now, these 2 control nets you could segment, but there's really no need for that, at least not right now, because that would be a pain. So you could say add set nodes for depth control net plus, depth control net minus, and then have this grab from depth control net plus and depth control net minus. But we will get into how to segment control nets later because there's a way to segment them that is way more efficient and works way better than that. So for now, we're going to grab another set node. We're going to set the VAE, or the variational auto encoder, and we're going to give that a set, which means that we can unplug this because we don't need it, and we can just use a get node to get the VAE, plug that right in there, and hide it behind the VAE encode. And then we can disconnect the VAE decode, add a get node, put in VAE, and hide that one. I'm sure you guys can see where this is going. So, way less spaghetti noodle. So let's grab another set node. Make this for video. I like capitals. Video upscaled. We're going to set that, and then we're going to disconnect it from here. And we're going to create a get node, grab video upscaled, plug it in, and hide it. All right. So now, video upscaled's here, which means this and this can also be disconnected because they get from video upscaled. So we can just add get nodes, grab video upscaled, plug them in, and hide them. Okay. Now, VAE encode needs a set node. We'll just call it encode. Drop that in there and hide it. I'm going to run over here, pull out the latent image, don't need that. Add a get node, and we're going to get from encode because this is going to take the encoded input. We're going to hide that. And we're going to, let's see, I'm going to add a set node here. This is going to be model space animate diff, because this is the model coming from animate diff. You need to be able to know how to route things, which is why I made the first two videos, to clarify how routing and all that works. Like where all your pipelines are, how they work. So we've segmented the clip pipeline, the VAE pipeline, the model pipeline. They're all segmented now. They're all in their own things, and you can just grab them from a get node and put them anywhere. So we're going to grab another set node. We're going to set this as latent, because this is the latent from the sampler. Probably should put a space in there, type sampler. So this is the latent from the sampler. Hide that. Grab samples, pull that out, don't need it. Got a get node, get from latent sampler, just like it would if it was connected. We're going to grab another set node, and we're going to call this one image decode, because this is coming out of the image decode. We're just going to plug that right in and hide it. So now this one can grab a get node, and it can pull from image decode just like it would normally. We can hide that. Now this right here is some wizarding. So we can hide this because we know that's video upscaled. We can hide this. We can hide this. We can hide this. So we know there are set nodes for all of them. And now we need to add a get node here because it has no model, and it needs a model, but it needs the model from animate diff, because if you just give it the model directly, it doesn't know that it's supposed to go through animate diff. Now, without all those wires, let's just get rid of these two also. Add set node, add set node. Control net plus, not equals. Control net, no. Control net plus. Control net minus. And then we can disconnect these. We can hook the negative to control net minus, hook the positive to control net plus, and then we grab from that pipeline. Get node, control net plus, control net minus, into the negative and the positive respectively. So now we have a control net. We have our control nets hooked up. We could segment those, but we're going to do something neat here in a minute, because I'm not just going to end this video after 11 minutes of doing noodling. For those of you who have stuck around, this is going to be pretty cool. So now we got all of this set up. And it should be good. It should still run. We're going to test it. Q prompt. Loading the model. Loading everything up. It should just run right through. No noodles needed. That's wizarding. That's wizarding right there. Yes, yes it is. Of course we can group all these while it's running. Just right click over here, add group for selected nodes, title, checkpoint. That's checkpoint loader. Add group for selected nodes. Title, encode. Add group for selected nodes. Title, decode. Add group for selected nodes. Remember, you got to click off of the sampler or whatever you're highlighting, because otherwise it's going to rename that. Title, sampler. It's already done. Neat. We can grab this, shorten this down a bit, throw it right here. Add group for selected nodes. Edit group, title, video input. All right. Now it's all clean. Look at that. No need. No need for any of these wires. We can just completely get rid of them. Add group for selected nodes. Edit group, title, video output. All right. Well, that's all well and good, right? So now it's all set up and working. So these can all just move around however you want to move them around. You know, you should probably leave the decode somewhere on this side because that's where it belongs. Sampler, animate diff, encode, checkpoint, prompt. So, two control nets are still connected, right? Well, they don't necessarily have to be. But this gets into the problem that I ran into that I have not exactly figured out how to sort out in my workflow yet. Although I have an idea, I just haven't done anything to fix it yet because it's not that big of a deal once everything else is segmented. So if you segment these by disconnecting these, then you have, you know, depth control net plus, depth control net minus coming out of the positive and the negative, right? Well, that means that if this is getting its positive and negative prompt from depth control net, and you turn off depth control net, it's not getting its positive and negative prompt anymore. And you would have to change those get nodes over to tell it to get from this prompt. So we have somewhat of a solution for that, and that is a control net stack. Control net space. Can I just type in stack? Hey! Apply control net stack. So this right here starts a control net stack. And then you can grab a control net stacker. And then you can pull out of this noodle and grab another control net stacker. So these are now stacked into this. Well, that kind of fixes the problem, right? We can grab this. We can take prompt plus and prompt minus from here. We can plug them into here. And then when one control net's off, it doesn't matter because it just reroutes it. So at that point, you need 2 more set nodes. This would be, call it control net plus. Oh no, we already have a control net plus. Wait, never mind. This is me being dumb. So then we can grab from over here. Grab these 2. Open them back up. Unplug them. And plug them into here. So now we have this weird little dragonfly looking thing, right? It's whatever you want to call it. We'll open up the wings so you guys can get a really good look of what's going on here. Positive and negative prompt are coming in from positive and negative prompt. It's going to run through these and it's going to output to these 2 when it's done with conditioning. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these control nets, we're going to delete the apply advanced control net because we don't need that anymore, because the control net stacker does that. So we're going to load advanced control net into the control net for both of these. Might stretch this out just a little bit. So that will load your control nets. I'm going to move this down. Move this down a little bit. And we're going to take these, pull these down here. Is this line art? No, that's depth. This is line art. So this one goes down here because it's line art. This one goes over here because it's depth. Then we're going to take the depth image output, plug it into the image input for the control net stacker. We're going to do the same with this one. Now this little net stack button, or node or whatever, this plug circuit, whatever you want to call it, noodle connector, that's for if you want to add more. So for now, we're going to take these, close them down. What we can do is take these group nodes, we can move them right back to here. Still have our groups, because the group will stick to whatever you stop moving it on. So now we got these groups again, right? Control nets and the control net stacker. We can take this, we can add group for selected node. We're going to leave these exposed so that they can be changed if you ever need to change them. And then we're going to edit group, title, control net stack. Because this is the controller for the control net stack. So now these are segmented even further, and you don't have to worry about the conditioning problem between the two of them to have to deal with that. So in this case, we'll take the depth control net, and we're going to right click on it. We're going to go to bypass group nodes. So you would think that because this noodle goes to right here, it needs to go through this. It doesn't. We're going to go ahead and hit render, and it's going to render right through. It's going to look a little different because the depth control net's off, but it'll render just fine, and it will only use line art. We can change the seed to show that it only loads the line art. Because right now, RG3's optimizations mean that everything that's already loaded, it doesn't need to try to reload it. This is a very fast, simple workflow, though. Very, very, very simple video to video, animate diff. Not a whole lot to it. The next video, we're going to start going into masking. And we're going to start showing what you can really do with animate diff. Because this is basic stuff. This is just learning how to organize and learning pipelines and how things work. So as you can see, it worked with line art. It's about the same video. A little different. Not a whole lot of change. Just the line art control nets at 1. Yeah. There's a lot of other things that we can do. But for this episode, this is what we've done. The next episode, masking. And some really cool tricks to make some really neat animations. If you've made it this far through the series, you should be able to understand everything I'm about to lay out next. That's all for this one, guys. Have a good one.